Last night for Brian and me began the way it usually does. After dinner, we cleaned up the kitchen, poured ourselves a couple of glasses of wine, and settled onto the couch. Thursday nights had slowly become our little ritual, reruns of old sitcoms, laughing at jokes we'd heard 100 times as if they were brand new. I loved those nights. They felt safe, familiar, like home. But last night carried a different weight. Brian was quieter than usual, his brow furrowing now and then as though some heavy thought kept circling in his mind. By the time we were halfway through the second episode of Friends, I had noticed a change. Still, I didn't press him right away. When he finally spoke, his voice was calm but deliberate. He reached over, wrapping his cool fingers around my warm hand, his hazel eyes locking onto mine, the same eyes that had caught me off guard more than a decade ago. "Amy, can we talk?" The seriousness in his tone made me straighten instantly. My heart gave a hard thud, bracing for bad news. Family, health, work? "Of course," I said, forcing my voice to sound casual even though my chest felt tight. He drew in a deep breath, paused the television, and said softly, "I've been thinking about us. Not because there's anything wrong, I love you more than I ever have, but I've realized there's something I've been keeping inside." I blinked, unsure what he meant. Brian had always been open, one of the most emotionally transparent people I knew. He wasn't a man who built walls. "Holding back?" I asked, leaning toward him. His grip on my hand tightened. "I've always tried to be the man I thought you wanted me to be. But there's something I've wanted to share for a long time. I just didn't know how." Now my heart was pounding for a different reason, curiosity. "You can tell me anything," I said. He nodded, let go of my hand, and stood up. After pacing for a few moments, he turned back to me. "I want us to do something different. To break out of the same old patterns. Just one night where we strip away every routine and expectation, and just be completely honest. About who we are, what we feel, what we want. No filters. No fear." His request didn't sound unreasonable. In fact, it was the kind of thing a counselor might suggest to reconnect. Still, something in the way he said it made me feel there was more beneath the surface. Trying to lighten the mood, I teased, "So, role-play night." He gave a short laugh. "Not exactly. I want to share things I've never said before. And I want you to do the same. No judgment, just the truth." For the first time in a long while, I saw a flicker of fear in his eyes. That vulnerability made me feel exposed too. Slowly, I nodded. "All right. Let's do it." We set our wine aside, turned off the TV, and faced each other on the couch like two strangers meeting again. "You are brilliant, confident, and so alive," he began. "From the moment we met, I felt like this small-town guy scrambling to keep up. I just wanted to be worthy of you." I smiled, touched by his honesty. "I felt the same way," I admitted. "I was afraid I'd ruin it, because you seemed like this grounded, capable man who had it all figured out." He leaned closer. "For years, I thought I had to be the rock, the strong one. But the truth is, there were so many times I was scared and confused. I just didn't know how to say it without feeling like I was letting you down." I touched his face gently. "Brian, you've never needed to be perfect for me. I've always loved the parts of you that weren't perfect." His eyes glistened. When it was my turn, I told him about moments when I felt invisible, not because of him, but because I didn't know how to ask for what I needed. I admitted I sometimes longed for the spontaneity we had in the early years, and that I missed the version of myself who believed anything was possible. We talked for hours, open, unfiltered, real. Then Brian made the suggestion that would change things for us. "From now on, once a month, we do this. Sit, talk, listen, no fear, no topic off limits." I agreed immediately. I'd like that. But he wasn't done. "I don't want to drift into routine. I want us to keep growing, to be old and gray and still able to surprise each other." That's when I began to cry, not from sadness, but from realizing how rare it was to have someone who didn't just want comfort, but wanted growth. He went on, "I want us to try new things together, a class, a trip, dancing in the kitchen, learning something strange and wonderful." We held each other for a long time after that. Later, barefoot on the wooden floor, we danced to soft vintage jazz. The rest of the night felt dreamlike. When I woke the next morning, a small folded note sat on my pillow. In Brian's handwriting, it read, "Thank you for last night.
You gave me more than you'll ever know.
I tucked it into my journal, smiling like a teenager in love all over again. Somehow, everything felt different now.